Namatto Ratana Tayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening, everyone. So today is Monday, the 17th, May 2021. And this is Achan Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. As usual, I'm here with you all tonight. Hello, Margaret. Good evening. Hello, Emma. Good evening. And Margaret, thank you very much for your generous donation towards the fridge. And also got Anish, £20, and Nichada, £20, and Prani, £20. And I have just ordered the fridge, and I just simply realized that how much we are dependent on this fridge. When I was in Nepal, we never had a fridge, and even I couldn't even imagine is there a fridge. And now here in Scotland, living here in Scotland, it's like you can't imagine your life without having a fridge. Everything becomes so abnormal of not having a fridge. So we are very dependent on it, and particularly this time of such a COVID, we have to stock the things, put it in the fridge so we can use it and stay away from the troubles. And in regards to the COVID-19, this Indian variant is really terrifying in Nepal. Every day people are dying due to the lack of oxygen and the lack of all other medications. And sadly, the private hospitals are exploiting, and people even say that whoever goes to public hospitals, rarely they will return, but those who go to the private hospitals, there is a possibility of returning back. But anyway, so how deeply we are conditioned with this fridge. Good evening, Yvonne, and thank you for helping me to order this fridge. So Yvonne was very helpful ordering this fridge for the temple. So thank you very much. Right, so tonight we will go further on the same topic that we are talking on. That's the qualities of the Buddha, or recollecting the qualities of the Buddha. And the qualities of the Buddha, there are 9, and this is what I've been talking. These 9 qualities I will repeat again. That's Arahang, which means a pure one or accomplished one. Samma Sambuddho, the perfectly enlightened one. Vijjacharana Sampanno, he is impeccable in conduct and understanding. Sugato, the accomplished one, which I spoke yesterday, the Sugato, well gone or well come. And Lokavidhu, the knower of the worlds, which I'm going to talk about. Lokavidhu, the knower of the worlds. And Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarathi, he trains perfectly those who wish to be trained. Sattha Deva Manusanang, he is the teacher of gods and humans. And Buddho Bhagava, so he is fully awake and holy. And from this, looking at these 9 qualities, we can divide into 4 categories, in fact. Okay, 4 categories. 1, developing yourself, of perfecting yourself. And that these are 4 the first four qualities that we have discussed until yesterday. That's arahang, that basically one has given up, or the one who has conquered the maras, the defilements. And he is known as arahant because he is very remote from all the defilements, and all the defilements been completely eradicated, destroyed, and he is worthy of. So that's, he basically become worthy one because he has overcome the all the defilements, so greed, hatred, and delusion. And similarly, he and the Samma Sambuddha, on the journey to become an enlightened one, he eventually managed to be successful by his own efforts and perseverance, patience and perseverance of his dedication towards the enlightenment. Eventually he attained the enlightenment. So he basically fully confident in himself to proclaim or say to anyone that he has attained it, because he knows. So that's the second one. And the third, Vijja Charana Sampanno, means he not only gained the knowledge, but also he applied the knowledge in his day-to-day life. So that's why he speaks what he knows or what he does. And that's Vijja Charana Sampanno. And Sugato, that he has traveled to the end of that journey, and there is nothing that needed to be traveled. So that's why that is these are the four qualities that he has attained for himself. Okay? That's a purification of himself. That's basically the qualities of individuals. And we have plenty of examples that sometimes people haven't understood yet, and yet they try to mimic and try to teach. And when the question been asked and a deeper understanding about certain things, then they mumble and jumble, unable to answer. And that is simply because they haven't understood the number one. They haven't fully understood the Sugato. The last one, yesterday I mentioned about it, Sugato. So they haven't been there. They haven't fully comprehended it. So unable to answer properly. And also some people will say something but does something. Say something, does another. And that's again, there's a Vijja and a Charana is not completed yet. And this is also conformity that Buddha was fully confident to say, to proclaim that he had eradicated all the defilements. That's the first quality. The second one is how he eradicated these defilements by his own work, patience and perseverance of his own work. He was able to eradicate. So basically he had done the job by himself. So he knows ins and out. And not only that, but he also practiced it in his daily life. And that's possible because he has gone through. And that is definite that it develops the confidence in anything. Like someone who is working in the restaurant, if that person becomes a manager without knowing how to clean the toilets, how to put the cutleries on a table, how to do the small bit of jobs, then that basically means he hasn't fulfilled all these four qualities. But whereas someone who has developed his qualities through his own practice, and he had been working with that, mopping the floor and cleaning the toilet, putting and setting up tables, and talking to the customers and dealing with the customers. So with that, along with this practical work. He is also developing inside knowledge about how to operate this restaurant. And then eventually, the moment after a couple of years of working, and then when he becomes owner, then he knows ins and out. And he knows that whatever needed, or if somebody comes and asks, he knows how to reply with full confidence. So these are the qualities that the Buddha had in relation to the spiritual path, in relation to the spiritual liberation. And that was the main factor that why he was so confident to declare on every subject, every topics or every situation of the world, because he had seen all these things and he had experienced it, and eventually he had excelled and free from it. So that's the reason why the first four qualities are basically, that's his achievement. Okay, the Buddha's achievement. Now further on, now whichever the qualities are coming, it will be about the world, about the community, about the society. Okay, so about the society. So, and this also tells us that first develop yourself before you are going to teach somebody else. And this also reflects to the first missionaries that the Buddha sent out. And it happened that after Buddha enlightened, he went to teach the first five ascetics, and then after the 5 ascetics became his first disciples, followed by another 55 joined the monastics. And after having this 60 disciples, he told them to go and preach, go and teach. And here he encouraged all these 60 monks to go and share the knowledge. After they have understood fully, they have become arhat, because they have eliminated all the defilements, and then they know they have done it through listening and practicing in accordance with the Buddha. So they confirm by themselves, and there is a teacher to confirm. And then meanwhile, whatever they have understood, they are also practicing. And a Sugato, they have gone beyond. So there is no question of at all. So that's why they have established properly on that path. And as a result of that, when the Buddha told them to go and spread the news, spread the message for the good and happiness of many, both celestial beings and the human beings, they went out and spread. And that is the quality that the Buddha wanted every one of us to have it. And obviously, if we have gained the full understanding and full knowledge about something, it would not be difficult to go out and share on that particular topic. If we haven't feel clear about it, then there will be difficulties to explain what it is. And this is the case with the Buddha. First, he developed himself in a state that nothing is unturned. Every stone being turned, and he has understood ins and out of the whole system, whether it is about the world, the material world, or whether it is about the formless or form world. So he was able to comprehend the entire world system. And that is the quality. The 5th quality is called Lokavidhu. Lokavidhu. And that means knower of the world. Lokavidhu. Knower of the world. And here, when we talk about the knower of the world, it's basically the relationship with the world system. Understanding about the world system. knowing about the world system. And here he was able to understand the entire world system. Entire world system. And when we talk about the entire world system, it's basically, according to Buddhist cosmology, there are 31 planes of existence. Okay? And this 31 planes of existence is just one world system. Remember, 31 planes of existence is just a one world system. And if you've been following me, you may have come across me saying that the Buddha had declared so many hundreds and thousands of a world system that he had comprehended. Even in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, thousands of world system that he was able to comprehend. So it's uncountable world system out there that he was able to understand. And here, it's just the world. And here, Buddha is not just talking about the world as in such a material world like the scientists are talking about, but he was even comprehending that how this world interlinks and connects with the human beings. So he, according to the scripture, it suggests that he had experienced the entire world system. And as a result of that, he had known those world system. And then ability to penetrate on that, whether it is the penetration or understanding the each individual world system, or its arising and cessation, how it arose and how it cessates. And further on, what is the cause of this arising and what is the cause of that vanishing, the whole world system. So he was able to comprehend that in a deeper understanding. And further on, he said that there are three different types of world system. One is Sankhara Loka, and this is the world that how forms. And this forming again always rely on a nutritions. And there's another world is called a Sapta Loka, and which is the world of beings. And then further on, there is called a world of locations. So there are three different types of a world system that he was able to comprehend. The Sankhara Loka, or the world of a formation, is basically understanding that how the world is forming and how the world is deforming. And he was able to comprehend that. And meanwhile, he was able to comprehend about the human world system, how the human world system functions. And then further on, the locations, and here locations talking about the 31 planes of existence, and which is again divided into three different types of a world system, known as a Kama Loka, is a sense sphere, and the world of a sense spheres. The world of a sense spheres is basically human as the central point. And there's another 6 celestial beings. So according to this one, even the reborn in the heavens up to Paranimmita Vasavati, the level 6 heaven, still regarded as a sensual sphere, sense sphere. And that also he was able to comprehend entirely about it. So he was able to understand that world system. Sawadee cha, Walapon, Talanpon, Palada. Good evening, Manish, and everyone. So yeah, and that is the world system we are talking, and he was able to comprehend that world system completely without leaving any in behind or uncovered. And further on, he also was able to comprehend with so-called form spare existence, or the called rupa loka, and which is again beyond that, like beyond this the sense spare existence. And then further on, he was able to comprehend the formless spheres, and with that the 31 planes of existence explains. So he, as a person who Lokavidhu, the knower of the world, was able to comprehend these different types of a world system. And now, what is the benefit of knowing this whole world system? The Buddha was saying that if a person tries to find out the end of the world system, he will die before he will find the end of the world system. And doesn't matter how many and how fast you travel, you still can't find the end of the world system. It appears in the scripture as well. There was a monk who had a very magic power, and a very strong magic power, could travel so fast, like the more than a light, how the light travels. And he, according to his own explanation, saying that he had been traveling so far until his last breath, and yet couldn't find the end of the world system. And when the Buddha heard that, and he said, the Buddha told this monk, saying that, "Oh, you are foolish. Doesn't matter how much energy or a magic power you have, you would not be able to comprehend the end of this world system. But if you want to know the end of the world system, look at this phantom of the body. Look at this body. Yeah, 2 feet or 3 feet of this body as the world, the central of the world system. The moment when you understand this whole system, this body and the mind, you have understood the whole system. You will be able to comprehend the whole world system, that how this functions, how this arises, and how this vanishes. So rather than finding out about the outside material worlds and trying to find the end of the world system, better investigate within yourself, understanding this, how complex our life is, our body is, our mind is, and how this complexities works and functions. That's more wiser. So that's how Buddha instructed him to focus on this phantom of the body, and understand this body as the main factor, rather than trying to find out this thousands of a world system out there. And this is just trying to conceptualize, and it's pointless to speculate origin and end of it. So it's not easy job to conceptualize the whole world system. But if you bring your attention and focus on your body, on your mind, then you will be able to comprehend it without any trouble. And by understanding this whole world system of our own body and mind, you will be able to comprehend the whole world system and able to connect with this whole world system. You may have heard, sometimes I was saying, and even the scientists and physics say, that if you move one hand like this, then it affects the whole world system. And I think the Buddha was correct to say that as well, that you are affecting the whole world system. And further on, that the one world system doesn't mean that only this earth, but it's like one galaxy, or a one world system here means one galaxy system, and that means there are thousands of galaxies, and within that thousands of galaxies there are hundreds and hundreds of world system are running. Within our own galaxy there are so many suns and so many other similar stars and Earth. Possibly there is another Earth or another planet where the beings are there too. So that's why it's a possible way of looking at it, and which Buddha confirms that there are many world systems exist, and so with that, and the question of whether there is aliens or not, then again that's just not a question to be asked. We are, in a way, we are aliens as well. We are descended on this planet too. Okay. So anyway, it's the fact that rather than trying to find out whether there is aliens out there or not, and according to Buddha's teachings, is to find out yourself in your own mind and a body. The moment when you understand the nature of this mind and a body, that moment you will be able to comprehend and fully understand the entire world system. And in here, Buddha was able to comprehend it in and out entirely, and as a result he is known as the Lokavidhu, the knower of the world. And here, not only the material world that he was able to understand, but also human world. When we talk about the human worlds, he had a knowledge about knowing where we born, where we came from, and where we will be. So he was able to understand that too, and as a result he was able to teach, to touch the people's, the heart and the minds, and finding the path to the liberation for themselves. And there is a story also said that on the day when he came down after teaching his mother in one of the celestial beings called the Tawatingsha heavens, when he came down from the that celestial heavens to the earth, and that moment was the first time ever the heaven, earth, and hell was open to view from all the beings from all these three planes of existence. And so with that, just to summarize, that Buddha was the knower of the world from both ins and out, and not just the one world system, but also the thousands of world system. And then to summarize, rather than trying to find out how many world system out there, how this world system functions and how this world system created and fades away, Buddha is channeling us to channel our attention to our own body and mind and understand this fathom of body. And once we have understood this, basically that means we have attained the full knowledge about the whole world system. So I end here for tonight's talk. May you all be well and happy, stay safe, take care, and may the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you. And thank you everyone for joining with me. In a few moments' time, we are going to have evening chanting and guided meditation. You are most welcome to join with us. Until then, good night and see you shortly. Sadhu.